Welcome back to our last plenary session for today, which is the ending of the Congress. Before we continue with the presentation, I would like to invite you to stay here at 1 o'clock for the closing ceremony. I'll begin by introducing our presenter for this plenary. His name is Victor Castro. He's going to present on technology affordance, Google tools, and what they can do for our students. Victor Castro has been an EFL teacher for the past 15 years and a materials writer also and teacher trainer for the past 8 years. Currently, he's the coordinator for the Instructional Technology Initiative at the Instituto Guatemalteco Americano, IGA, in Guatemala City, of course. Victor is also involved in the administration of different learning websites for IGA, students and teachers. As Educational Digital Resource Coordinator at IGA, he assists teachers also in adopting new technologies and developing best practices in integrating technology into their teaching. So let's welcome Dr. Victor Castro.
Thank you. I'm not a doctor, but thank you anyway. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Nicholas and Terry for the invitation. I feel very privileged to be able to close this series of conferences and talks. And my intention is to summarize a little bit my experience during the conference, which I hope is similar to your experience, and talk about a few ideas that concern me when thinking about educational technology and bringing technology into the classroom. Anybody seen The Matrix movie? Yeah? Good movie, changed cinema, 1999. Anyway, there's one line from the series, I think it's the second movie, and the line is, "The problem is choice." And I just remembered it because in our field, thinking about technology, the problem is choosing the technology that is useful, choosing the technology and the tools from countless options. I mean, online, you go online, countless resources. And the real choice, or the real problem, is choosing from all of that. So I'd like to point out some key concepts, and these are the things that we're going to talk about. Firstly, the idea of affordance. Affordance is a term and a concept that comes from biology. Now, let's take a look at this leaf right here. What is this leaf? What does the leaf represent? What does it allow any given organism to do? The characteristics or the qualities of the leaf that are relevant to an organism, that's its affordance. Okay? So thinking about it, and I'm going to ask you to talk to the person next to you, just to generate a couple of ideas. Think about an ant and this leaf. What does the leaf afford this organism to do? What is the leaf to the ant? And really quick, 20 seconds, just turn to your partner and brainstorm a couple of ideas, please. Go ahead. I hear mumbling, that's good. So what is, do you know what anybody just shout out, one word, what is the leaf to the ant? Life? Life, well, a little bit more restricted, anybody? Nourishment, food. Well, if you've ever seen the ants carrying the little pieces of leaves, you know, back to the nest, it's to build, right? You could say that for the ant, this leaf is shelter. Then you have a butterfly. What is the leaf to the butterfly? It might be a place to lay eggs. It might be home. It might be shelter as well. Some very different, though, for the worm that we have right there. For the worm, it might be food, right? And that's the affordance, nourishment, right? Then we have this person over here, a shaman. What is the leaf to him? Medicine, maybe, right? Maybe there are properties of the leaf that have medical applications. So for him, it's medicine. That is the concept of affordance. Whether we're talking about a biological thing, like the leaf, you know, this object. This object has many properties, but they are only relevant to the organisms that interact with it. But the affordances are going to be different for each organism, right? So that's the concept of affordance. Really quick, just a definition. Looking for define affordance. And this is from Wikipedia. And it says affordance. An affordance is a quality of an object or an environment. And let me move on and get it a bit better. Okay, an affordance is a quality of an object or an environment that allows an individual to perform an action. Very generally, that is affordance. A little bit more refined definition, a particular property of the environment that is relevant for good or for ill to an active, perceiving organism in that environment. A point that's really important is what becomes an affordance depends on what the organism does, what it wants, and what is useful for it. For me, or let's quickly just go back a couple of pages and think about these different organisms right around. And we got the ant and the worm and the shaman and the butterfly. An affordance of the leaf is specific to that organism, right? So what it is to the ant is not necessarily the same for the butterfly, and same with the shaman or the worm. Right? So an affordance of the leaf is specific to the organism that it's interacting with. Okay, it depends on that relationship. Okay, let me move ahead. So in biology, it makes a lot of sense, you know, but you could talk about affordances and language, for instance. Language has affordances, and they might be different when you think about your students' motivation to learn. Language could mean a better salary. Language could mean being able to hear and enjoy that music you like. Language could mean making new friends. Language has affordances, and they're different for each student. Technology and affordance. Also, there's a very there's a lot that we can talk about in terms of affordance and technology. For example, I have blogs. You know, if anybody's ever read a blog or started a blog, the blog is different depending on the person. And in this case, for instance, for a student, what is a blog? What affordance does the blog offer the student? You could say it's a research tool. Maybe it's entertainment, I don't know. For a business person, what is a blog? Maybe it's a waste of time, you know, searching through blogs. What the heck? Give me the Wall Street Journal, that's where the information is, right? For a teacher, what is a blog? It is a source maybe of professional development. I know it is for me, you know, reading blogs from different people in the field of education, you get to learn a lot, and it's something that it's not printed in. I mean, you have to wait a year for it to be printed in a book, you know. But people are talking about things, and you can learn through the blog about it. My mother, that is my mother, yes. What is a blog for my mother? Completely different. It's just a way to, I don't communicate much, so it's the way she can find out what I'm doing, you know, where I am. And so the blog affords different things, different organisms or